was a power breakdown here, no electricity. There are some similarities between Ethiopia and Pakistan. There was an important statement from a TPLF leader, Getachew Reda. Getachew Reda is saying that Eritrea is mobilizing its forces towards Tigray. We have been talking about expected role of Eritrea in coming days, because we know that Ethiopian National Defense Forces have suffered losses. Regional forces are trying to stop the advance of Tigray Defense Forces into Afar and Amhara state. What if every move made by Abiy fails? What will he do? Will Eritrea come to his rescue or not? Several important questions. Now, firstly, I'll have a look at Getachew Reda's statement. Which areas he is talking about where Eritrea has deployed its forces? And secondly, is there any possibility of Eritrea carrying out second invasion of Tigray? Firstly, Getachew Reda has mentioned 2 points. Have a look at this map, viewers. You can see on this map Bore on Afar Eritrea border. Close to Bore is Manda, viewers, and Getachew Reda is saying that Eritrea is deploying its forces close to Manda on Eritrea side of the border. I think 2 days ago, I informed you in a video that Eritrea was deploying its forces close to Bore. So there is definitely heavy presence of Eritrean forces on Eritrea side of the border on Afar Tigray border. But we don't have any confirmation that Eritrean forces have entered Afar. This deployment is defensive or offensive. We don't know, viewers, because Eritrean forces so far haven't entered Tigray. This deployment could be defensive as well, because Tigray Defense Forces have entered Afar. They are in control of 3 woredas in Afar. They are trying to advance towards Djibouti, Ethiopia road. They could advance towards Eritrea border as well. So this deployment could be defensive as well. It does not mean if there are Eritrean soldiers on Afar Tigray border that they want to invade Tigray. But there is presence of Eritrean forces on Afar Eritrea border, on Eritrea side of the border. Second place mentioned by Getachew Reda is Getachew. You can see Getachew on this map. Getachew is in northwestern Tigray. It is to the west of Shiraro. Shiraro has been taken by Tigray Defense Forces. Shiraro is under the control of TDF. We heard a few days ago that, I think we heard yesterday that Eritrean forces had entered Humera through Hajar. Humera is at a distance from Getachew here. So this deployment, which Getachew Reda is talking about, it is another development. It's not that news story which was done by several international news outlets yesterday, which said that Eritrea had mobilized its forces towards Humera. There is presence of Eritrean forces in Humera, but this deployment near Getachew is a new deployment. Now, viewers, important question. Will Eritrea come to the rescue of Abiy Ahmed or not? Will Eritrea carry out the second invasion of Tigray or not? Abiy needs him. There is no doubt about that, viewers, that regional forces are having a hard time. They're finding it difficult to stop the onslaught of Tigray Defense Forces into Amhara and into Afar regions. Abiy's government is in need of Eritrea's support. But will Eritrea intervene or not? It's a very difficult question to answer. So Eritrea will intervene or not? Abiy and Isaiah's interests are the same. They're on the same page, viewers. If Abiy falls, Isaiah's could be in trouble as well. If TDF starts marching towards Addis Ababa, alarm bells might start ringing in Eritrea as well, because after Addis Ababa, Asmara could be the target as well. When in November this war started and Eritrea launched an offensive on Tigray, back then Eritrea had said that this intervention was preemptive, that Tigray Defense Forces were planning to invade Eritrea, and they had fired some missiles as well in the second week of November. So in order to protect Eritrea, Eritrean forces intervened. That was the official position of Eritrea back then. We could see the same official position adopted by Eritrea now as well. Eritrea could intervene. There is no question about that Eritrea could intervene in Tigray in coming days. What will be the scale of this intervention? That remains to be seen. Will Eritrea launch a full-scale attack on Tigray or not? That's the main question. Well, Eritrea is not out of Tigray. We know there is presence of Eritrean soldiers in Humera. International news outlets have confirmed that there is presence of Eritrean soldiers inside Humera. Humera is part of Ethiopia, not Eritrea. So Eritrean soldiers are already in Ethiopia, in western Tigray. People don't like me, especially from Amhara side, when I call this place western Tigray. But since it was part of Tigray before this war started, that is why I call it western Tigray. So Eritrean forces are there in Tigray. Important question is, what would be the scale of Eritrea's second intervention? Yes, Eritrean forces could support Amhara forces. They're already supporting Amhara forces in Humera. They could support Afar forces as well if Tigray Defense Forces started advancing towards Afar Eritrea border. We could see Eritrean forces supporting Afar Special Forces and Ethiopian National Defense Forces. And Eritrean role will become crucial in coming days if TDF keeps on advancing. If TDF takes Gondar, if it takes Lalibela, Eritrea's role would be crucial. Viewers. Coming days, very important, very crucial for Ethiopia. But again, viewers, Abiy and Isaiah, they are on the same page. Their survival is linked. If Abiy falls, Isaiah could be in trouble as well. That is why I think that we could see some sort of intervention from Eritrea. We might not see an open, large-scale intervention, but we could see a small-scale, limited, surgical sort of intervention by Eritrea into Tigray to stop the advance of Tigray Defense Forces towards Addis Ababa, if it happened, viewers. I think for watching.